I'm John Munger. I welcome you all here and appreciate your coming to this press conference. This morning I'm going to introduce you to our Sheriff, Mark Napier, who's running again for re-election to the Pima County Sheriff's Office. And Sheriff Napier has some comments he'd like to make this morning. Sheriff Napier?
Well, good morning. This is an exceedingly difficult press conference for me. I've lived an honorable life of public service in our community for 33 years. I try to approach everyone in all situations in a measured manner with kindness, respect, and politeness. As a Christian, I believe in looking past the faults of others and when attacked, trying to turn the other cheek. In my campaign for re-election, I have tried to focus on public safety issues, accomplishments of my first term in office, and have been respectful of both the political process and all people of our county. It is my belief that the dignity of the office of sheriff requires this of a candidate. I firmly regret that the actions of my opponent have brought us here this morning. Over a period of many months, I have endured what I believe to be a seemingly endless stream of false and misleading statements made by Mr. Nanos on social media, in the newspaper, and on an attacked website. We have unfortunately begun to expect this and these antics as part of the political process. I fully realize that, at least to some, politics is a contact sport where honesty may take a backseat to the desire to win election. In the past couple of months, the conduct of Mr. Nanos and his campaign has escalated and has regrettably become intolerable. In social media, on a website, in the newspaper, and even on a publicly displayed billboard, he has made, or is allowed to be made, defamatory statements with clear malice and a reckless disregard for the truth. He has stated that I have been found guilty of a felony offense, that I'm appealing that crime, that I'm under investigation by the FBI, and he indicates that that's again as if there have been multiple investigations. That I have cloned Sheriff Department personnel's cell phones in the effort to spy on them. That I have falsified department records, and that I have criminally possessed privileged documents. All of these statements are completely and verifiably false. Further, I believe Mr. Nanos knows or should know that they are false. This has gone far beyond what we might begrudgingly tolerate as dirty politics, and has exceeded the bounds of my normally benevolent disposition. I've desperately tried to ignore Mr. Nanos and his attacks in an idealistic hope that he could find his way clear to simply run an honorable campaign based on the issues and fitting the dignity of the office that we seek. It has become readily apparent that he will not cease in making what I believe to be defamatory, false, and spurious allegations. I feel these are politically motivated and purposely designed to be maliciously ruinous to both my personal and professional reputation. He engages in these unscrupulous behaviors in the apparent effort of hoping to win election to the most important law enforcement position in our county. The irony of that should be shocking to all our citizens. I most sincerely regret that the actions of Mr. Nanos have brought us no choice but for me to potentially seek legal recourse. I believe his defamatory conduct has gone far beyond dirty politics, and it will not stop. In fact, it continues to escalate. I'm left to wonder what is next. As the election draws nearer, what new defamatory statements may be made. I feel it has been purposely directed at doing irreparable harm to my personal and my professional reputation with actual malice and libelous intent. This is not acceptable. It cannot be allowed to continue, and it cannot go unanswered. Our demand letter is clear with respect to our expectations of Mr. Nanos. They are that he provide a written apology for the defamatory statements and distribute the same to all media outlets of Pima County. To post a public apology in the Arizona Daily Star, the newspaper of record in our community. Post a public apology on a billboard in the Tucson metropolitan area. Permanently take down the defamatory website and Facebook page and allow the creation of no similar platform for defamatory content. Agree to engage in no further defamatory, false, or misleading statements about me in perpetuity. And finally, to strongly consider immediately terminating his campaign for sheriff, as his conduct with respect to these matters is completely incompatible with the high expectations that we would place on any candidate for political office, much less one aspiring to be the chief law enforcement officer of our county. We have provided a copy of the demand letter for your review and for more details. We sincerely hope that Mr. Nanos will do the right thing so that we may move forward with this campaign. Thank you.
We'll take any questions that you may have.
Sheriff Napier, so if Mr. Nanos does not do all of those things, will you pursue a lawsuit? What is going to trigger pursuing the lawsuit if he doesn't comply with what you've requested in entirety, or could he do a few of those things and still continue the campaign, and that will not result in a lawsuit?
Well, I won't entertain hypotheticals. What I'll say is our demand letter is very clear with our expectations of Mr. Nanos. They're clearly stated. You'll see in the demand letter itself, which we provided you a copy, that they're very clear what we are asking Mr. Nanos to do, that we both believe is both reasonable and appropriate to remedy this defamatory content and conduct on his part. And we hope that we won't have to go to litigation, but that's going to be determined by Mr. Nanos.
Okay.